Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at creating assignments within Canvas. So there are a couple ways to do this, but the easiest way I've found is to just go to the Assignments tab in the left navigation bar. Go ahead and click on that and it'll take you to a list of assignments if you've already got some inside of your Canvas course. If not, this will just be kind of blank. I've also got groups of assignments. So let's address the group thing first. I've got a few of these that I can collapse down or expand out. I've got a bunch of kind of different buckets for different kinds of assignments that I've got here. You can add these groups or these buckets up here at the top with this plus group button. So I'll go ahead and add an example. And when these are created, they kind of default to being thrown at the bottom. You don't have to have assignments within an example group. You could just have it as a placeholder for now. I'm going to add an assignment to this. I'm just grabbing it and dragging it up here if you want to reorganize those. When your overall grade is being computed in Canvas, you have the option to have the grade as a weighted average between these different groups, or just have it be kind of a total of points divided by number of available points. If you wanted the grade to be computed as a weighted average of these different assignment groups, there is this overall three-dot drop-down menu at the top. This is where you can change the way that the grade is calculated by clicking on Assignment Groups Weight. Right now I've got it set up so that there's no weighting between the groups. It's just all points earned by the students in all their assignments divided by the points possible. But if I wanted to make it weighted on the groups themselves, I just go ahead and click this box. I choose the weight for each of those assignment groups that I have, and I would go ahead and hit save. I'm going to leave this as an unweighted total between the groups and just have it as the other way it calculates. But that's an option for you. If you wanted to create an assignment, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can do that right from within an assignment group. So let's say I wanted to put a new assignment in this example group. I'll just go ahead and hit this plus next to the example group or whatever group I want to add this to, and it'll give you a very trimmed down version of the settings that you can have here. So if I'm creating just placeholder assignments, this is what I'm going to use most often. We'll call it example assignment. I'll make it due maybe a week from today, and we'll give it a weight of, let's say, 20 points. If I hit save, that's going to create the assignment, but the assignment won't be available to students. If I want it available to students, if I feel like the assignment's ready to go, I would hit save and publish. Right now, I'm just going to hit save. And the assignment's been created. You'll see this little kind of Ghostbusters slash. This is what shows us that the assignment's not actually published. If I want students to be able to see it, I can toggle these on or off. If I press that, now it says published. Now students would be able to see it now that it's got that green check mark. If I wanted to make further edits to the assignment, I can go ahead and click the drop-down menu, three dots next to the assignment, click edit, and it'll give me a similar menu to what I had before. I can go to more options, and it'll take me to the page where I can detail everything about the assignment. I can change the name of it. I have this rich content editor where I can insert text, let's say. I can change the formatting from, let's say, paragraph to some kind of heading. I can insert, obviously, more meaningful content than what I'm inserting here, but you can also do a bunch of different things from these drop-down menus or these quick access things down here. I could, for example, I could go over to, let's say, insert. If I wanted to insert a link to a website or a link to something within the course, I can do that here. Same thing with images, upload from my computer or insert a course image. I can do that with media or documents. Again, uploading from my computer or choosing documents that are already within the course. If you have some embed code, you can drop in stuff like that, make tables, a whole array of different things I can do from here. You can also do that from down here. Let's say you wanted to insert something like a Panopto video, if you've got something recorded and want that in the assignment. That's now under this kind of plugin icon for apps. If you click on that, you can insert anything from an app. It might not show if you're trying to insert something from an app, might not show on this quick drop-down list, so you might have to the first time search that from view all. I could find my Panopto recordings from here and then go ahead and choose whatever video I want to drop into the assignment. We'll go ahead and do this one here just for example. And of course, as you're editing, you'll be able to see what that looks like. You can also scroll down and change a whole bunch of other things about the assignment. I've got my points value that I can change. I can change the assignment group. So I could change this to, I had tests and homeworks and things for my assignment groups. I could go ahead and move this to a different assignment group here if I wanted to, or create a new group. I can choose the way the points are displayed. So I could have the grade display as points or a percentage, or if it's low stakes, maybe a complete incomplete. I also have one of the options down here is not graded. If you want students to do something, you want to have them see it on their calendar and in their to-do list, but you don't actually want to base any of their final grade off of it. You could select not graded as an option there. You could also choose not to count this assignment toward the final grade. So if you did want to go through and grade it and give them a score just as a reflection of how well they did, but you didn't want it to actually count towards their final grade, you can check that box. You can also choose the kind of submission. So how are they going to be getting their assignment submission to you? If you wanted to, you could choose on paper. If they're handing something into you physically in person, you can choose that. And then you would just upload grades to Canvas, for example. I'm going to choose online here. And you have a bunch of different options within there. You can choose text entry, so they can type out stuff just in the same way that we did here. They could insert images and things like that. If you give text entry as an option, maybe I wanted students to upload some kind of file, I can choose that here. You can give them multiple entry options. Maybe in a math class I might be teaching, some students might want to use the text entry to type out their equation stuff, where some students might want to just handwrite it and upload a file. I can do that. If I wanted to only accept file uploads of a certain kind, I can restrict the file upload types. Maybe I only wanted to use PDF, doc, or docx. I can tell it what kind of files it'll accept as an upload, as an option. You can choose unlimited or a certain number of attempts if you wanted to. You can use a plagiarism review like Turnitin if that's something you're interested in. You can make it a group assignment and choose the group setup that you might already have in the Peoples tab within Canvas. I'll leave this as a non-group assignment. You can choose the option to have student submission reviewed by peers. And then you can choose the kind of due date settings for it. So I assigned this one already, but I could choose 1 week from today. It's the 21st, so the 28th is a week from today. Maybe that's when I assign it. Students can, with no other settings, they can turn things in past the due date unless you have an until date set. So maybe I want to say it's due on the 28th, but I won't accept anything at all for submissions after the 30th. I would change the until date to the 30th, and then after that date, they won't be able to make any sort of submission to the assignment at all. You can also, if you don't want the assignment to be available to students until a certain point, you can choose that. Maybe I don't want students to have access to this assignment until they've done something on the 22nd. So before the available from date, students won't be able to access the assignment. By default, it'll assign to everyone, but you could add other kind of overwriting due dates to specific students. If you wanted to give an extension or something, this is one way you can do that. I'll just go ahead and leave those settings that I have for everybody, and then just go ahead and hit save down here in the bottom right. It'll update those assignment settings. And if I was to go back to the assignments tab, I can see that assignment sitting still in my example group once this has a chance to load. I can publish, unpublish it. I can move this assignment between different assignment groups just by clicking and dragging it if I really wanted to. And so that's one way you can create assignments. The other way is to just get into the kind of detailed list of settings by clicking on this plus assignment button that's on the top right of the assignments tab, and that will get you to this place where we could specify every detail of the assignment, including what assignment group we wanted to put it in. So that gives you an overview of how to create assignments within Canvas and the various settings that you can change regarding those assignments. So good luck and happy assigning.